Welcome to another Tech Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about watch me in the back. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about OBS. OBS means Open Broadcaster Software, and with OBS you can stream and record on both your Mac and or your PCs. But let's just jump on in here. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, and so here's what OBS looks like. As you can see down here, you have your scenes, your sources, your mixer, scene transitions. It shows your audio levels. So as you can see right here, as I'm talking, this level shoots up. The green is good, yellow, not so good. Red's pretty bad. Try not to go into the red because that means you're peaking. But as you can see here, it's showing what we're recording. So we don't actually need that right now, and it may be a little distracting, so I'll go ahead and turn it off. But over here, you can see you can start streaming, you can stop recording, you can go into your settings and studio mode, and you just close the app. As you can see, we're already recording, so I'm actually recording this video using OBS. Before you even think about recording and streaming and anything like that, let's go into your settings. So it has general settings. It's the typical things you would find. Now with streaming, you can stream to popular sites like Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, and many other sites like that. As you can see right now, we have it set up for Twitch, and you have your stream key. Each site that you go to, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, they will all have their own separate stream key. Whenever you check your service, you can see here's some things that will stream to. You select your service, you select your server, auto is recommended, and then you find your stream key. Typically you can find your stream key in your settings. And on YouTube, whenever you're about to go live, in your streaming settings, you can actually find your stream key. Now the reason my stream key is blacked out isn't because I made it do that, it's because it's recommended. Because if someone has your stream key to your site, let's say they have your Twitch stream key, they can stream directly to your Twitch channel, which you might want some people to do, but unless you're your close friend or someone you're working with directly who controls that channel with you, I would not recommend giving your stream key out to anybody. So tip number one, keep your stream key to yourself. Now let's talk about your output. Now output, that deals with both recording and streaming. As you can see here, this top is just streaming. So our video bitrate is the video quality that we're sending out to these servers. So 2500, that's pretty good. Encoder, it's fine as is. Your audio bitrate, you can jump that up if you want some better sounding audio. It's all however you want it. But with your video bitrate and your audio bitrate, just being careful, because the higher that is, the more data you're going to need to stream it, and the more data other people are going to need to watch it. So whenever you're setting those, just be sure you're not setting them too high. Okay, now let's talk about recording. It's blacked out for me because I'm currently recording, but you can set your recording path, so whenever you stop recording, it'll save that file there, and you can generate your file names without spaces. And then you have audio quality. Now you can set it as the same as the stream, which is fine. If you say you want something different, then it'll have its own little settings, you can change them. By default, in OBS, your recording format should be FLV. Now you may want to change that, because unless you have video LAN, typically named VLC, I'll leave a link down in the description in case you're curious about it. It's also free. Your video player will not play FLVs. So that's why I would change my recording format to MOV, because it's an easier one to read. And then there's just your typical audio settings. You can change your devices, your sample rate, your channels. And let's say you have multiple microphones, you can enable push to mute. So you just press the button to mute it. So right now we are recording at 1080. But on our stream, if you were to see this, you can see that it's actually streaming at 720 because of the output. Now let's talk about what we have over here in the scenes. So here's our scenes. You can see we have a Fortnite stream set up. So if I hit this, you can see that everything has changed. It's still recording my audio because I already have it down here in the sources, which we'll get to that in just a moment. So you can see my audio still going. And now I actually have a face cam because that's how we set up this scene. But here, let me switch this up. So we're on our Fortnite stream. So when we would stream Fortnite or any kind of game, Fortnite would come up here on the window. It would replace this OBS screen, and you would just see my face cam and then the game in the background. And if for some reason we needed to do like an intermission or a break, we can just hit Holler logo loop. So now it's just playing the logo. It's also still playing my microphone, but I can mute that down in the settings with just a press of a button, or I can just have no audio playing whenever I hit this scene. So that's kind of useful things of scenes. Let's say you're streaming something and you want a break, or you want a different stream setup. Rather than turning off your camera and removing it from the scene, you can just click another scene that has no camera there. Rather, so you don't have to click back and forth like that and turn off multiple things. You just have to click one thing rather than tons of things. And here's another example of why you might want another scene. So over here, our camera's not really in the way of anything. But let's say our camera was where I am now. So some programs or some games or some things you may be streaming, you may have this side of the screen preoccupied. If you had that side of the screen preoccupied, that's why you might want to move the camera onto the other side like this one is. So let me just give you an example here. So as you can see, there's a lot of little details here on the left side of the screen. Now is some stuff that I guess you could be missing on the other side of the screen, like your effects and presets and other things. But you may want to see your timeline. You may want your audience to see your timeline more than you see the After Effects effects you're selecting and stuff like that. Okay, so this is our After Effects streaming setup. Let's go back to the Fortnite stream setup. As you can see, by the press of a button, I've changed screens entirely. And that's another thing your scenes can do. Your scenes can record different monitors. So if you have dual monitors or triple monitors or quad monitors, you can set your scenes up so whenever you press the button, your stream will be set up just for that screen. So scenes can be very useful and they let you do some really fun things. Now let's talk about sources. Now, as you can see, on this one, I have 3 sources. My video capture device, which is just my face cam. Hey! Then we have our display capture and our external microphone. And also you can see that you can lock it. So let's say I have my face cam and I have it locked. I can't move it. If it's unlocked, then I can move it wherever I want. You can even move it off screen. And typically, if you have your snapping set up, it'll actually just snap to the corner, which is pretty useful. But let's just turn that off for a moment. Actually, let's just also enable preview. Let's just uncheck that. Our video capture, that's what is actually capturing our desktop. Our external mic, it's not really doing anything right now, but as you can see, it's there just in case you want it to be doing something, but we'll just turn it off for now. And just like you could move our face cam, you can also move this too. So if for some reason you want to do like a little fancy opening, you'd be like, hey guys, I'm back. Or if you want to do anything like that, you can. And over here, you can see my microphone is still good. But if I ever start peaking really loud, I can just lower this. And you can probably tell a difference. I'm probably a lot quieter than I was. And I can just lower this all the way and you probably can't hear me. But now you should be able to hear me pretty well now. And then we also have desktop audio. So if you had stuff going on your desktop, here's how you could check the audio. You can mute that. You got your settings. So let me just touch on a few more things here. You can add more scenes by hitting the plus symbol down here. You can remove scenes by hitting the remove sign. And in your sources, there's tons of other sources you can add. So you can add your own microphone. You can add where's your audio is coming out from. So is it coming from a game? Is it just coming from your desktop? You can add your browser and then tons of other things too. You can add game captures. So if you have your desktop or record, typically it'll pick up on the game, but you can also set game capture so it just records your game whenever it comes up. Media source, VR, Windows capture. There's tons of different things you can capture there. And then you got your settings, you got your filters, your properties. And if you're recording your desktop, be sure to put on your cursor here, capture your cursor. That way you can see your cursor being recorded. Unless you don't want that, then you can turn it off. Some people might want that, some might not. And if for some reason you can't see yourself, be sure that your video capture is on top and not on the bottom, because if it's on the bottom, then your display is on top, and so your display is actually overlapping your webcam. So just be sure that your webcam's on top, unless you just don't want to see it. If that's the case, throw it on the bottom, turn it off. It's whatever you want to do. Well, let's talk about something a little funner. Let's talk about how to chroma key. Chroma keying is whenever you would see a green screen and someone was either masking it out or making it look like they were at the beach. So let's talk about chroma keying. So we already have our video capture, which is our webcam right here that you're watching me on. Hello. So if we go to filters, right click video capture device and go to filters. As you can see, I have some color correction on it. We can turn it off. It doesn't really do much. I didn't change it too much, but you can see you have audio, video filters, and then you also have effect filters. So let's add a chroma key filter onto the effect filter. And so you can see the key color type is green, and you can adjust these settings depending on what color green you have, but all these settings are good. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's double check and make sure that's there. Yes, it's there. Awesome. So let me grab something green for you real fast. Okay, so now we have our chroma key set up, and I managed to find something green. As you can see, my glasses, they're doing a little bit of something at the moment, but I don't really know what that is. So I grabbed this, so I think we should check it out. Let's see what we got here. Whoa! I guess it's getting a little bit of a spooky time. So if you're wondering what this is, in my chroma key, I selected green. So it's looking for the color green. Now, let me just turn this off for you real fast so I can show you. So I'm going to my filters, and I'm going to turn off my chroma key. So as you can see, this is just a green little lid. So when I turn it back on, now, let me close this. As you can see, it is time to get spooky. And just in case you're wondering how I did that, so with our green lid, the chroma key is looking for green, and when it finds the green, it masks out the video. It masks out this whole video of me right here. So behind me, there's actually a very spooky, there's a very spooky pumpkin man dancing behind me. So whenever I put this over me, you can see that just plays that, and you can also see I'm also OBS. If you look, I'm OBS. But yeah, that's OBS for you. That's how you work it. So I'm Adrian Smith, and I'll holler at you later. Okay, so there's just one more thing I forgot to tell you about. Let me just show you here. Whoa, what's that? That looks like some Holler merchandise right there. Be sure to check that out on the link right here. I think it's stretching across this whole screen, but I can't reach that far. So be sure to check out the Holler store there. You won't regret it. Look at that fancy design. There's also other designs too as well. But if you're looking to get spooky this Halloween, be sure to check out the Holler store.